What's up everyone, welcome back to another What If video. Last time, we covered Resurrection F, and we got to see how Goku, Vegeta, and Turles developed after their training with Beerus and Whis. Apparently they've surpassed Super Saiyan God greatly, and now have something called Super Saiyan Blue. And naturally, that means the next arc will be the Universe 6 tournament, but we're going to be more focused on a different arc here. You'll see what I mean. For this video, let's set a like goal of 2,500 likes, and once we hit that, I'll continue this scenario with another part. Anyways, let's pick up from here. So you guys know the deal with the Universe 6 tournament. I feel like I've covered it a little too much recently, so honestly, I'd prefer to skim over the small details here. It's going to be way more interesting to cover what's up next. So for the tournament, I'm pretty sure you can guess the team. There's no need for Manaka since Whis has 3 different students here and they're all trying to keep up with each other. And they're all equally motivated, so no need for him. They already have Goku, Vegeta, and Turles on the team, and the other 2 picks are pretty obvious. Piccolo, and then Gohan, who is actually able to reschedule his meetings this time. So, let's briefly cover the tournament. It serves as a great way for everyone to show off their new powers. For 3 days, Goku, Vegeta, and Turles headed into the time chamber, while Gohan continued training with Piccolo, both in Ultimate. The 2 of them haven't seen any action in a bit, but both of them are making great progress in Ultimate. And when the other 3 Saiyans are done with their training, well, their massive gains are obvious. Hopes are high and it seems like they're going to win this tournament. Piccolo is up first against Potamo, and after finding a way to defeat him, he's able to win. Next, he's up against Frost, but is eliminated by the poison needles. He's keen to pick up on these needles, and the ref is informed. Frost is about to be disqualified, but then they suggest having Piccolo go to the end of the roster and giving him another turn. Frost gets really lucky. All he has to do is dispose of his needles and he can get back into the fight. But next he's up against Gohan, and even when he goes to his final form, he's one-shotted. Gohan's amazed to see how strong he's gotten here. Next he's up against Magetta, and he's not that good when it comes to coming up with insults, but eventually he thinks of something and is able to get the win. Next he's up against Kaba. He doesn't think to teach him Super Saiyan, but he does have a good fight with him. It's pretty cool to see a Saiyan from another universe. Finally, Gohan's up against Hit, and Gohan pretty much gets one-shotted here. Now he knows how Frost feels. He wasn't able to attack Hit at all, and this is concerning. Vegeta goes up next against Hit, and it's a similar story, but he is able to make some progress. And then we have Turles fighting him. Goku's confident that Turles can win, but secretly he hopes Turles loses so he can show off Blue Kaioken. Sadly, Goku's not going to get that opportunity here. Turles is able to work around Hit's time skip, and is able to catch him off guard by using the God to Blue switch, fighting kind of similarly to how Goku did against Hit in the manga. And although it's tough, Turles is able to win against Hit, and Universe 7 claims victory. But this victory is going to come with a price, because this puts Turles on someone's radar, and I'm sure you guys already know who I'm talking about. Beerus makes a generous wish for his brother, restoring Earth in Universe 6. So it comes to a happy conclusion, although Goku's a bit schmizzed that he didn't get to fight. This would have been a really cool moment to reveal Blue Kaioken. It would have been awesome. He could picture it now. There would be a theme song playing in the background and everything. So cinematic and awesome. But whatever, he'll save that for later. Following the Universe 6 tournament, life briefly goes back to normal. But let's cover some timeline nonsense here. After seeing the performance at the tournament, Zamasu is pretty intrigued, and he does his homework. The Turles guy specifically seems pretty interesting to him, and he's thinking about a body swap. But he has a better idea. Originally he was just going to steal Turles' body and then find Zamasu from another timeline and make him immortal, but he's got a much more efficient idea. First, he pursues the Super Dragon Balls and wishes for immortality, but his plan's not going to end here. He travels into Trunks' timeline, which was the original target anyways, and it seems there that Turles guy never actually came to Earth, like the other Saiyans. Instead of tainting himself by stealing Immortal's body, it may be simpler and less hypocritical to just recruit Immortal, someone who could help him out with his plan and basically be the muscle. Besides, he could always double-cross that person later, and the person he's thinking of is Turles, Future Turles to be specific, because if you remember, he never showed up in Trunks' timeline, at least not on Earth. If we're going to be under the assumption that he's still canon here, that would mean somewhere out in space, the Crusher Core is still going strong, or at least Turles is. He may have never reached Earth here, but he was able to plant the Tree of Might in some other places, and actually get a couple fruits for himself. He's still on his conquest for power, and this is perfect for Zamasu. Zamasu can easily manipulate this guy and have him join his team, basically controlling him as the muscle of the duo. One day on his mothership, all alone, Turles encounters a visitor. Wait, how did this guy get on the ship? It's some green alien dude with a mohawk, and apparently he teleported on here. That Kai could be real useful. Of course, this immediately puts Turles on guard. How did this guy get on here and what does he want? Zamasu introduces himself and has a proposition. Turles has obviously been having a hard time. He's gotten a couple fruits, but he hasn't been able to find too many planets to plant a tree on so far. I mean, a lot of the places out in space are dead, and he can't easily find planets with life on them. His Crusher Core is gone and he's pretty much alienated from everyone. And this is where Zamasu's gonna get to him. That teleport maneuver that he just showed. Wouldn't this be pretty useful for Turles? Being able to follow Zamasu and teleport to any planet he wants. Being able to plant a tree of might at a moment's notice. Turles is intrigued, but he knows Zamasu wants something out of this and wants to know what he's asking for. Well, it's simple. He just wants a partner in a Zero Mortals plan, someone strong enough to help him. And Turles is a perfect candidate, especially if he's able to get a bunch of fruits. And occasionally here and there, Zamasu might take one or two for himself. That's all Zamasu's asking for, someone to destroy stuff for him. And in return, Turles can get all the fruits he wants. He is suspicious because this offer does sound too good to be true. He's basically getting a job where all he has to do is destroy stuff. And are you crazy? That's perfect for him. That's exactly what he loves to do. Turles goes for the handshake, but Zamasu goes for the awkward hug. They then settle for the elbow bump because of social distancing. The Zero Mortals plan, or I guess the Single Mortal plan because only Turles will be left, is now in motion. Zamasu chose this timeline for a reason. They first go around to different planets getting fruits from the Tree of Might, empowering Turles and Zamasu a little bit when he has the occasional fruit once in a while. But this is mostly for Turles, he's pretty far behind in power. Funny enough, I wrote this before the recent Dragon Ball Heroes episode, and apparently in there, he ate enough fruits to the point where he could actually match Super Saiyan Blue Goku in terms of power, which is kinda crazy. Non-canon of course, but it's pretty interesting to see that. And that would make him crazy powerful here. While Turles is on his conquest, Zamasu eventually pays a visit to Earth, and he starts getting the job done there. Turles has to wait to plant his Tree of Might because Zamasu wants to actually kinda savor this moment, destroying every mortal there bit by bit, leading him to encounter Trunks, with Turles also making an appearance. And this is where Turles notices something interesting. They take their sweet time destroying Earth, and over these few months or so, Turles notices that Trunks has some sort of transformation. He learns Trunks is half Saiyan, and this thing is called Super Saiyan. No way, that's Super Saiyan? So it wasn't a myth. Turles begins plotting, as he and Zamasu continue their conquest across Earth, with Turles occasionally making a stop to another planet to get some more fruits. He's just a humble farmer after all, but it's also because he has to space out how many times he eats the fruits. Because according to Dragon Ball Legends, if you eat too many too quickly, well, you're dead. Frost tried to do that in the game and he got screwed. Turles isn't going to make that mistake here. Trunks sees no other option to defend Earth. And the good thing here is that Bulma actually survives. The circumstances of the fights that they're in are very different, and Trunks is able to keep her and Mai a lot safer. And thankfully, he's able to get back to the past. Actually conscious this time. The time machine takes him away, and then he goes back to a world that looks a lot more peaceful. He recognizes Capsule Corp and realizes he's back at his destination. The thing is, he's a little bit concerned. He obviously knows who Turles is already, and that guy he encountered in the future, well, he was wearing Saiyan armor and he looked just like him. And Turles never came to Earth in his timeline, so he puts two and two together and realizes Turles is still evil in his timeline. There's no mystery of Goku Black or whatever, but he's more so concerned about that green Kai he saw earlier. He knows Turles, but he doesn't know who this guy is. Thankfully, once he meets with the group, he's able to inform everyone. Turles is there and it's kind of an awkward situation, because apparently Future Turles is a completely different person. He never came to Earth, and he never ended up giving up his evil ways. He went through the universe as his plans eventually soured, and now he's stuck with Zamasu. This of course intrigues everyone. There was a Kai there fighting against Trunks? Trunks describes him, but he doesn't know his name, who he is, or why he's here. He knew Shin and Kibito, but he's never seen this guy. Immediately everyone theorizes he might be from another universe. Beerus and Whis also feel like they know who he's talking about. And speak of the devil, because Zamasu actually shows up. Future Turles isn't going to be traveling through time here, but instead, Zamasu is. He followed Trunks back here and is ready to fight. And he's actually much stronger than normal. He's only had a couple of fruits, but those are just enough to get him to power up further. Zamasu in the original story wasn't necessarily too strong, his immortality was really the biggest problem. But here, he's immortal and he's pretty strong. Probably not on the level of someone like Goku or Vegeta, but still considerably powerful. If things get out of hand, Beerus and Whis will step in, but because this guy's causing trouble, they give full permission to kill him. And Zamasu chooses to fight Turles specifically, trying to gauge where he is here in terms of power. He's pretty amused with this, and Turles tries his hardest to kill Zamasu, but he can't. He keeps regenerating somehow. It turns out he's wished for immortality, and just as Beerus is about to get involved, Zamasu disappears, back into Trunks' timeline. There's one obvious course of action right now. Beerus wants to find Zamasu in this timeline right now. So he, Whis, and Goku head over to Universe 10 like normal, trying to sort this out. Although there's some confusion, they're able to find out that these two Zamasus are separate. Beerus was ready to destroy this one right on the spot, but it's not the case here. So this pretty much puts Zamasu in probation. He's under strict watch by all of the higher-ups in his universe, and it kinda spooks him, so he's gonna act on his best behavior now. He admits he did have thoughts like this, but he didn't actually think he would go through with them, and now it seems like he's really not gonna do that. So, out of fear, President Zamasu lives. By this time, it's already been about 2 days since Trunks has shown up. He's gotten to meet some people and train with them a bit, and now the time machine is finally refueled. Vegeta is about to head into the future with Trunks, but then Gohan decides to join. He and Piccolo have been training a lot in Ultimate, and they've both gotten noticeably stronger using the form. Gohan feels like he can be a valuable asset and wants to help them out, as well as test his power, so he joins along. And of course, Turles is going to go as well. He wants to see this future version of himself. Goku wants to go, but he can't because he has a meeting with Zeno, which sounds pretty terrifying when you put it like that. But the four of those guys head into the future, and they see what Trunks was talking about. This guy actually is Future Turles. Turles recognizes everything, his armor, his scouter, everything about him. He hasn't changed one bit in this timeline. Future Turles is pretty pleased. He couldn't time travel here, so he's glad that they showed up in front of him instead. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for him to meet an alternate timeline version of himself. And over these past few months, he's been holding back a lot, and decides he wants to reveal something to the group. He's sure that by now they're all familiar with this, but he shows off his new technique. He's unlocked Super Saiyan. And yeah, it might not seem like much when he's facing against Super Saiyan Blues, but with all the fruits he had from the Tree of Might, I'd honestly say he's probably stronger than Super Saiyan Blue here. If you remember before, I mentioned that Dragon Ball Heroes episode, that new one. And he'd been eating so many fruits that even in base he was matching against Super Saiyan Blue Goku. And if it had that effect when he's just in base, I'm sure that in Super Saiyan he'd be a very formidable opponent. Turles begins fighting him, immediately jumping into Blue. But he's surprised to see that this isn't enough. He wasn't going to hesitate to destroy this future version of himself. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be easy. Gohan and Trunks occupy Zamasu, while Vegeta joins in with his comrade Turles, and together they fight Future Turles. And the both of them together are actually able to take him on pretty well. Even with his immense power in Super Saiyan, he can't handle two of them at once. But he actually has a trick up his sleeve for that. With all three of them weakened, Future Turles does something that Vegeta immediately recognizes, and present Turles knows exactly what he's thinking. He wanted to pursue this before but never ended up doing it, at least not trying to train it in depth, and he doubts that Future Turles is actually going to pull this off with such little training. He's made an artificial moon, and he flings it into the sky. Future Turles powers back down to base and then looks up, turning into a great ape. The thing is here, present Turles is kind of immobilized. I mean, he could do the same thing and go Super Saiyan on top of it, but he honestly thinks he'd be better in blue. The reason Future Turles is doing this here is because this is his most powerful form. He's planning to go Super Saiyan on top of a great ape, risking it all. The thing is, he does it, but he's never actually tried it before, so he's losing all control right now, destroying everything in sight. The group decides they need to retreat. Future Turles is too powerful as a golden great ape, and they don't know how to fight him. And they can't seem to find an opening to cut off his tail either. While he's distracted, they get back in the time machine and escape, as Zamasu goes towards his ally, seeing if he can somehow help him gain control. Zamasu is pissed off that the group escaped. But then he sees something. Turles is starting to regain himself, while in golden great ape. Maybe it was too soon to actually do this for him. He's already had some practice with Super Saiyan, but it's only been a few months. Zamasu thinks it was foolish of him to try to use it with another technique at the same time, but Turles is already learning, and he looks at Zamasu with a grin. He's regained control, and then suddenly, he begins shrinking. Zamasu looks in amazement as Turles takes on a new form. He just got Super Saiyan a few months ago. What is this now? As the time machine flies out of the timeline, the group gets one last glimpse of Turles, using a brand new power they've never seen before. The time machine vanishes and all they feel is terror. This is where we'll leave off for now. So what do you think will happen in the next part? Will they be able to defeat Future Turles and Zamasu? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below, and I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. And once we hit the like goal, I'll continue this what if with another part. And if you haven't already, why not subscribe? As well as hitting the bell icon to get notified about any future parts of this what if, or any other videos that I upload on my channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.